What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Neeks Sports. This is your match preview for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United at Selhurst Park today, 8 o'clock tonight, or 8:15, I think it's actually tonight. And as the title says, a chance to build the gap. That is what we need to be focusing on right now, building the gap between us and fifth place. I'll bring up the Premier League table for all us to see. Obviously, we are sitting at the moment after Man City winning yesterday. We are sitting 15 points with a game in hand, 15 points behind Man City. They are on a 21 match winning streak in all competitions. I believe it's 15 in the league. So, I mean, it's unstoppable. They're on an unstoppable train right now. And when they get in this mood, it is very, very difficult to get anywhere near them. Liverpool had to match them the season before, on their winning streak, and they just fell short. We know they've done this before when they got 100 points, and Liverpool did it last year. It's very, very difficult when they get going, and we have to accept that, really and truly, that we are not there yet. Looking at the table now, you can see, Man City, let me make that a bit bigger. Man City are 15 points clear of Man United, but we are, as it stands, 6 points ahead of Chelsea. So if we can win this game, we can increase that gap to 9 points. And as we know, Chelsea are playing Liverpool on Thursday. And we hope for a draw. Both teams drop points and we can be 8 and 9 points respectively clear of Chelsea and Liverpool. With Leicester's injuries that they got at the moment, you're hoping that maybe we can even, if anyone's going to drop out, it's not going to be us. There's Leicester, there's West Ham. We've got a bit of a buffer around us. Realistically, we shouldn't fall outside the top 4, because if you look at it realistically, between now and the end of the season, we should finish with more points than Leicester, or we should win more points between now and the end of the season than Leicester. We should win more points between now and the end of the season than West Ham. I don't know all our fixtures, but being realistic, we should finish with more points. Or we should gain more points between now and the end of the season, the last 12 games. Between ourselves, Chelsea, and Liverpool, it's possible that Chelsea can win more points between now and the end of the season than us, and Liverpool could win more points between now and the end of the season. So we need to be looking to build a gap between them, that even if they win more points, they're not going to win 8, 9, 10 more points than us. Looking at the goal difference as well, we're currently on plus 21, whereas Chelsea and Liverpool are on plus 13. So we've got an advantage over them already. We just need to be looking to extend that advantage this week. We're playing Man City in the derby on Sunday. So being realistic, it's an L. it's an L. You've got to be realistic. We're not going to beat Man City. Of course, it's possible. Everything in football is possible. But realistically, we're not going to beat Man City. So we need to really be looking at this Palace game as the means of actually extending our gap over the chasing pack for top 4, because that is the main target. Solskjaer's come out today saying that the transfer budget is not going to be very big. There's not going to be major signings. He thinks across all clubs, because of obviously COVID, etc. Well, we need to make sure that we are in the best possible financial position to make the signings that we want to make. That means finishing in the Champions League. You finish in the Champions League, your budget automatically increases. You finish in the Champions League, the type of players that you can buy increases. We've got a wider berth of players who are likely to be attracted to join in Manchester United. So I think finishing the Champions League is the imperative right now, the main target. And of course, we're in the FA Cup, we're in the Europa League. Those are competitions that we want to win as well. But the Palace game is so important. I'll get on to my team news, or my what I would like to see us do in terms of the team for this game in a second. Going through some of the comments. Shiloh Pongo, big up yourself in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Smash the like button whilst you are there. And Football Heritage Podcast, Neeks, big up the content. What is a successful season for Manchester United? Well, before a ball was kicked, so while the transfer window was still open, but before a ball was kicked, my target for Man United was at least for minimum 4th place. So we know we finished level with. No, that's not true. That's not true. Sorry. My target for Man United before ball was kicked was 3rd place and close the gap on Liverpool and Man City. That was my target for last season. After the transfer window, which was 3 games in, but after the transfer window, my target for Man United became to just finish in the top 4. I thought Chelsea would be in a title race because of the signings that they made. I knew Liverpool would drop off. I didn't think they'll drop off to this extent, but I knew they'll drop off. And I expected Man City to improve. So I thought, okay, cool. Last year we finished 15 points behind Man City, 33 points behind Liverpool. We need to close the gap to both of those teams, but realistically, we're not going to be in a title race because it's too big a gap. If we come in by 10, they drop down by 10, then in terms of Liverpool, we can be within 13 points of the top or so. Man City, I was hoping to close the gap to about, really and truly, between 10 to 15 points of the league leaders. That was the real maximum I wanted to go to. It's at 15 at the moment, so I could get bigger. But that was the maximum I wanted to go to in terms of the league lead. But I wasn't expecting to finish 2nd place. Where we are now, for me, we should be finishing 2nd place. As I said, we're 6 points clear of Chelsea, 7 clear of Liverpool. Leicester and West Ham are our nearest challengers. We should be finishing above them this season. If West Ham or Leicester finish above us, that's not good. That's not good. It's not a good season. It's acceptable that we finish in Champions League positions, but we could have done better. If they can finish 2nd, then there's no reason why we can't finish 2nd in my book. So as it stands for me, a successful season will be finishing 2nd and winning a trophy, FA Cup or Europa League. For me, Manchester United, a successful season for Man United is always based on a trophy. I don't think we can class a season to be successful without winning a trophy. We can claim it as progress. We can claim it as acceptable. We can say, I will take this and we move on to the next one. But trophies are the ultimate aim for Manchester United. So success has to be based on a trophy. Big up yourself, Shiloh. Says not a Man United fan, but you're here to support the channel. Always welcome all the support. So thank you for that. Make sure you like the video. It says, do you think, I guess Ollie sets his team out against the Big Six not to lose? Well, he sets his team out against the Big Six in a way that plays to our strengths. That's what he does, because we play in a very similar way and probably slightly, literally, probably a slightly more attacking than when he first came. So against the Big Six, we've always sat back and hit them on the counter. The only difference now is that those teams are not allowing themselves to be hit on the counter. They are realizing that we're so dangerous, and we beat Chelsea 4-0 and 2-0 last season. We beat Man City 3 times out of 4 last season. We were the first team to take points of Liverpool last year. I think Arsenal's the only game where, I guess because they're probably not as good in terms of dominant on the ball, that we haven't been had great results against them prior to coming into this season. We've always hit teams on the counter against the bigger teams, whether in domestically or in Europe. PSG, we've done that twice, for example. The issue is this year, teams are wising up to that. They're waking up to that, to say, we're not going to allow you to hit you on the counter. So we played Man City. They played with 2 defensive midfielders. We played Chelsea, both games. They played 3 at the back both times under Lampard and Tuchel. So, Arsenal, I know they won 1-0 the first game, but they were playing with 5 at the back. And they've been very good defensive this year. Teams are not allowing us to hit them on the counter. So what we need to do going forward is we need to change our tactic when playing these teams. We need to realize that they are afraid of us on the counter. So we need to then find a way to break them down in, when we're got our ball on the foot, where we're the pressing, we're the more progressive team. Because at the moment, they have nullified our counter attack without actually being able to attack us anyway. So they've taken away something from their attack to make sure that we don't kill them, but equally, both teams are nullifying each other. So we can talk about, obviously, as a Man United fan, I want to talk about Solskjaer and how we've got 0-0s across the board. But why are they not scoring against us? Because they are also setting up to not get hit on the counter, which takes away from their attacking. So we just need to go, if we're going to be talking about winning leagues, which we're not there yet, we need to be playing in a way that allows us to win these big 6 games. And I say big 6 because we're talking about Spurs and Arsenal, who are sitting in 9th and 10th, where we've played Leicester, we drew 2-2. That was an attacking game. We've played West Ham and we've beaten them away from home. We played Everton, we've beaten them away from home. We drew 3-3 at home. So the teams who are actually in the top 6 or there and thereabouts, we've played in an attacking way. But when we played Chelsea, when we played Man City, when we played Liverpool, they've also set that we're playing the same way we always have against them. Now they are just saying we're not going to get hit on the counter, and that's why those games have ended 0-0. Big up Hala Madrid, Sammy. Hope you are doing better. We spoke recently. I hope you're doing a bit better. It says the only interesting part of the league is the battle for European places. 100%. The league is the title is done, finished, done. Peter Drury said, how do we even judge what the big 6 is? United being see, said exactly the same thing. United have beaten Everton and West Ham away, who are better than Spurs and Arsenal. So yeah, exactly what I just said. Exactly, it's big 6 in name, but they're not big 6 in nature. In the last couple of years. I mean, Wolves have been up there, Sheffield United have been up there. Arsenal finished 8th last year. What do we say in it? What do we say? Sorry about that. Bear with me. Shiloh says, what if Ollie played McFred and Maguire against Crystal Palace? Would you question Ollie's team selection? 100%. 100%. Because I expect that team to play against Man City. I expect McFred and they call him Magaluf, Maguire and Lindelof, Magaloff. I expect them to play against Man City because he's always done that in the big games. So it would surprise me if games come in thick and fast that we're playing the same team over and over again. That's the first thing. And I'm going to get into the team that I would like to see. But it would be I would be very, very surprised if he played those 4 today. And I'll question it because this is a game where we should be on the front foot from minute 1 to minute 90. We should want to be playing high up. Palace are going to want to hit us on the counter, so we need to have the tools in our armory to counter their counter, I guess. Or nullify their counter even. Harris Farik, would you try Bruno, Van der Beek, Pogba Bruno and Van der Beek or Pogba as 2 Roman-8s in a 4-3-3 to improve the balance, along with Matic? That could only work. It's very, very few teams that would work against because a lot of teams have the energy in the midfield that would run past us. Like who would you play against? It's a limited amount of teams. I don't think you could play against Everton. I don't think you could play against who else is up there? West Ham. Don't think you could play against a Leicester. These got quality, energetic runners in their midfield who would run past Pogba, run past Van der Beek, and run past Matic. We need a proper DM. There's not many Kantes out there, but that's the level I'm talking about. Someone who can hold down a midfield. And Ndidi, that's who I want, an Ndidi. Jabada says, if Man United ends up second and win the trophy, could one say that Ollie has been more successful than Mourinho at United because Ollie's team was closer to win the title? We're as far away from winning the title as we were under Jose. That's just a fact. I think we're pretty much the same amount of points behind Man City as we were under Jose, so I wouldn't say that. If we win a trophy and finish second, this would have been our best individual season since Sir Alex Ferguson left, because remember Jose's first season we won the Europa League and the League Cup, good success, finished 6th. The next year we came second and got to the FA Cup final and lost. This year would be, if we were to finish second and win a trophy, it would be the best individual season since Sir Alex Ferguson. We need United to stop City. They are 2 wins away from beating 2014 Madrid's consecutive wins record of 22 wins in a row. So the Madrid one, just to confirm, was that in all competitions? Because Man City's is all competitions. It's not just the league. So just to clarify that. I mean, we can get a draw. It's possible we can get a draw, but the way they're playing, difficult, very difficult. Would you look at Fabinho at Man United? I mean, he's not going to come from Liverpool to us, but I wanted him before. I wanted him before he joined Liverpool. I've got a Fabinho shirt, actually, a Monaco Fabinho shirt that I got as a gift. He at the time he was playing right back or could play defensive midfielder, so it's definitely one thing I want to see. And before I get into the team that I would pick, it's one thing. Harris says one thing I want to see Ollie improve is in-game management. He needs to make subs quicker, tweak the formation in game to go 2 up front. I agree. We've seen it at times. We saw it against PSG, for example. We saw it against Leipzig in the first game. He made 2 subs with 2-0 down against Southampton, even though we were playing well in the first half. With 2-0 down, he made the subs and we changed the game. I think one was forced for injury, David De Gea, and Cavani. Henderson and Cavani came on against West Ham, who were 1-0 down, and he brought on Bruno and Rashford. So he's done it at times, but it's usually if we're losing a game, even to be fair, PSG and Leipzig, we were winning and drawing, and he still made those changes. Sometimes it's just about the players on the bench, because the players that he brought on to change the game, Bruno, Rashford, Pogba, those are players who, against Leipzig, same thing, Bruno, Rashford as well. The players that he trusts, he's willing to bring on quicker. It's when he plays his first team or his best players, his best 11, he's less likely to call on a Van der Beek or call on a Mata or a Dan James off the bench, because I just don't think he trusts that they can make a change. But sometimes you just need to do it. You need to do it and give the other manager something to think about. Charlotte says Zaha could be out injured for this game. Hopefully, he's a problem. He is a problem, especially on the counter. He will be a problem. But yeah, let me go into the team that I would like us to play. So first and foremost, for me, you got to go Henderson. No, Henderson, sorry. David De Gea. David De Gea in goal. A lot of talk about whether Henderson should be starting, blah, blah, blah. For me, that save that David De Gea makes against Ziyech proves his worth. Maybe next season we can play Henderson. Cool. But right now, David De Gea's first choice. And I think he's done well enough to keep his position. Hannah Madrid says, yes, all comps, yeah. So listen, hopefully we can get something from Man City on Sunday. But first and foremost, we're unbeaten away from home in 20 games. We need to make our unbeaten run away from home, make it 21 against Palace, make sure that's a win, and then hopefully extend that to 22 against Man City on Sunday. Eze is scary. Eze could cause problems for Man United. Yeah, he's good. Make sure we've got the players that can combat. So I would go with David De Gea in goal. I would go with Wan-Bissaka. At right back, still, I think that's the only real choice. I would go with Maguire as one centre back, as we always do, and I will go with Bailly. I think we're going to want to play a high line. We are going to want to push up high, and they're going to have dangerous players on the counter attack. And Bailly with that recovery pace, I think is important. So I would go with Eric Bailly over Lindelof. And I would make a slight change. I would go with Telles, not because Luke Shaw's not good enough. He's more than good enough to play against Crystal Palace. There's 2 reasons. One, just rotation. He played against Chelsea. We're going to want him for the Man City game. That's one thing. Additionally, I do think that Palace are going to be sitting deep. So getting in behind is not always going to be easy. And I think Telles we know his set piece delivery is very good. So is Luke Shaw's, to be fair, it's good. It's not as Telles is better, but his ability to cross from deep might be very important, because we're not always going to be getting behind. So we need to create different angles and opportunities to create chances. And I'll show you who I would have up front as well. And I think with Telles crossing from deep, I think that can be a useful weapon for us. On one side, if you have Rashford going past his man, Telles from deep. On the other side, Wan-Bissaka, more so than in the past, likes to get to the byline. The Telles cross from deep can be a very, very useful weapon. In midfield, I would go. Who would I go with? I'll go with Matic first and foremost. Matic for me. Matic and Van der Beek. Matic. Van der Beek's an option. No, yeah, I wouldn't go with McFred. Definitely go with Matic for his forward passing and his defensive capabilities. All things being equal, I will start McTominay because he can break the lines, but he hasn't played. He hasn't played. Well, that was his first game back after injury. I think he only played once, and he played 90 minutes. So I think we need him fully fit for the Man City game. So I'm unlikely to play McTominay. I know Ollie won't pick Van der Beek. I'm talking about this, but this is the team that I would play. I'm not even trying to predict Ollie. He's gonna do what he's gonna do in it. Oh, it's a tough one. All right, let me put Bruno in. Bruno's a given. We know Pogba's not available. I would go with Rashford on the left. I would go with Greenwood over Dan James. I would actually start Dan James against Man City. I'll go Greenwood on the right, and I would go with Cavani through the middle. And the Cavani with Telles, that creativity, I think it can be very useful. I would save Dan James for actually Man City on the weekend. But in the midfield, the thing is we need someone from the midfield who can get into progressive areas. See, I would go with Van der Beek. I would go with Van der Beek. We know Solskjaer's not going to do that. We know he's not going to do that. So I can put that there all I want, whatever in it. But we know Solskjaer is not going to play Van der Beek. But we need someone in that midfield who can add a bit of creativity in the team as well. So let me entertain you. This is my team for Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Harry Maguire, Alex Telles, Donny van der Beek, Nemanja Matic, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, and Edinson Cavani. That is a team I would go with. I'm sure he's probably going to start Martial. He's probably going to start Fred, I guess. The other, the back five is very possible with all the matches we've had. Cavani is fit. He's in with the traveling squad, so I definitely would start him. But we just need something more in the midfield. We've got Bruno. We need something more in the midfield that can do something other than defend. McTominay can do that. McTominay would burst forward and get to the edge of the area and get to shooting positions. Fred ain't going to do that. Fred ain't going to get into positions where he can score. And if he does, he ain't good enough to do it. So if you're not going to do McTominay, then for me, you have to go with Van der Beek. He's not as defensively sound, no, but we're going to be attacking, and we've got Bailly at the back there who can help cover. So that's the team I will go with. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, I'm not contemplating a defeat. I'm not contemplating anything but a win, if I'm going to be honest. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't need to give a prediction or anything like that. Crystal Palace are on wretched form. I know they beat Brighton the other day, but they drew with Fulham last game, beat Brighton last minute, just about. I don't know how they did that. Lost to Burnley, lost to Leeds. I say wretched form. It's up and down, actually. I guess not wretched, it's up and down. But they beat they lost to West Ham. They beat Wolves and beat Newcastle. Then they lost 2 in a row. They just about beat Brighton, drew with Fulham. For me, it's a must-win game. I'm not contemplating anything other than that. Harris says 2-0 United. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't win this game comfortably 2-0. Charlotte says, do you think that you may concede 1 goal? Jamie says another draw incoming 1-1. We need to win this game. We need to win this game. Because who's playing actually before us today? There's 2 games, I think, 6 o'clock. So you've got Sheffield against Aston Villa, then you got Burnley against Leicester. So if Leicester win that game, they're going to go above us. We can't end the day behind Leicester before the Manchester derby. Nah. For me, must-win game, and I think we'll do it. I think we'll beat them. We got to, surely. It's Palace. Surely. Yeah, we're going to win. I feel we're going to win. I'm not getting excited. I'm not even getting ahead of myself. I shouldn't need to get ahead of myself. It's Crystal Palace. And to be fair, we've got a decent record against Palace at Palace. At Old Trafford is a different proposition, but we've tended to beat them away from home in the last 3-4 years. So for me, yeah, we drew against Chelsea, hopefully beat Palace today, and probably, I guess hopefully, draw against Man City on Sunday. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments, the live chat, in the main comments below, your team, the team you will go for this important match. Not a big match, but it's an important match for our season and what we're trying to achieve. And let me know your score predictions as well. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the content, and I'll see you soon.